DC the beat man.
So epic.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And as you can see, we got my guys Reese and Freddie on the show. What's good, boys? Reese, talk to me, man. Since you raised your hand first, how's everything going?
Hey, man. Season 5. Let's get it.
Season 5. That's an interesting building name. I guess we'll circle back to that. Freddie, how's everything going with you?
Hey, well, real quick, you said season 5. I thought he was saying season 5 as if this is going to be the 5th season of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum not winning the ring. It's an elite backcourt duo.
You could have just said Knicks in 5. You could have just said Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5. Bing, bong. After this day, we'll be up 3-1, and we probably will let them get the game. Well, we can't. No, in 5, we can't. Never mind. We're taking them now in Cleveland.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
This is for you.
Oh, wow. That's all right. On that note. So, look. Damn, that just... How to mess up a mood on the show, people. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you do it. Let's go to the gap trivia.
Oh, quick, my spot. I don't want to... Listen, Cam Reddish, after we win this ring, Cam Reddish.
Oh my God, so we are on the gap trivia just like that. Wow. Wow, okay. So look, boys, y'all know how this goes. Like, we'll keep it light, something slight. Let me ask you guys this. And Freddie, I'm glad you actually brought up the LeBron James thing. Because, he is classified as the king, right? But in 2010, on the Heatles, there was another player that had a nickname by the king. Who was it?
On the Beatles?
Yep.
All right. How many seconds do I get to figure this out? Because I'm going through there.
I mean, you get 10 seconds. They're going to see 10 seconds. So.
Oh my goodness! I'm thinking of the roster. Do they have the Jonas? No, he wasn't. I don't know, man. You got me on that one.
All right, so the answer is Chris Bosh. He was
King of the Dragons.
Ah, okay, touche. That's great. Okay.
Like I said, people, something light, something slight. Reese, seems like you're next. So, that being said, co-MVPs, has that ever happened in sports?
Yes.
What sport?
Oh, this is good right here.
I know it's happened. I can't think of the sport, man.
Come on, Jerice.
I know. I can't think of the sport. I know for a fact that it's happened. Okay,
so
that's all
only. I mean, hey, you got yes. So I guess partial. You were close. It's too bad we're not playing horseshoes. But the answer was yes. It's yes. For the only time in modern history of the Most Valuable Player Award, the 1979 National League honors split evenly between Keith Hernandez and Willie Fargo.
It was between baseball and hockey, bro.
Yo, I was thinking NFL this whole time, and I was going to be completely...
No, it was the NFL.
I know basketball had the Rookie of the Year split, right? Wow, I thought there was like a Peyton Manning split for MVP.
Another gap trivia right there.
That is good.
I got double check that. Remember, Ben and Spider should have had the co-Rookie of the Year, but I thought this was interesting because it made me think. Well, damn, could we have co-MVPs this season at one point in time? So I was like, would it be fair? Would that be interesting? Might be a slight, but it made me think of that.
Yeah, I couldn't get behind co-MVPs this year if they didn't do it last year. I feel like last year was the year to do co.
That's fair. So then, all right, we got. Let's see here.
0 for 4. Right
I might do one more, and this for both of y'all. Let y'all tag team. All right. Can you name me all the players who averaged 29 points and 9 assists in a season?
Ever?
Yeah, ever. And I'll give you a hint.
Let's do it. Russell Westbrook. How many?
Okay.
How many?
Yeah,
I'll give you a hint. There's 5.
Russell Westbrook, Tiny Archibald,
James Harden,
Oscar Robertson.
Harden has to be on there, right?
Trae Young. And so he said Tiny Archibald, Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook, Trae Young, and 4.
Is it not Harden?
9.
You said Harden?
Yeah, is it not Harden?
All right, that's the 5. That's the 5.
Hey, don't call us. 10-game win streak right there, baby. Let's go. That's fire. You ain't think we was gonna guess Tiny Archibald?
I'm about to say I definitely.
I'm not sure. You said Archibald, I was like, damn, he might get it. Okay.
Tiny was cold. I definitely knew Tiny.
Very cool. Another Celtic that Bird played with, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, but whatever. That was a good one right there, Trey.
Well, look, hey, I'm pleasantly surprised you guys won that one. Kudos to y'all. Good stuff. We'll see what happens next episode, people. But congratulations to you boys on the Gab trivia. You didn't go defeated like last time, so that's good. We're making steps. That organization looking like they're trying to go championship bound, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to transition on to the next segment. That is, what would you do? Fellas, right? I just got this right. I saw Gilbert Arenas on his show, and he was telling people about how he was talking trash, but he called Brandon Haywood. He was like, "Get your BA over onto the," he was getting stuff like that, and then Brandon Haywood actually knocks on the door at the hotel room of Gilbert Arenas. So my question is this, fellas: an angry Brandon Haywood who you just told, "Get your BA on to do whatever," you know what I'm saying? But B ass is what you basically called him, and he's knocking on your door like he wants to fight. Are you gonna open it, or are you just gonna be like, "Yo, I'm good, chill out," and call security? Because Brandon Haywood like a solid 6'11", dog. Like, hey, do you want that smoke, Freddie? I know you in New York, so y'all like to fight and nice folks. So
like to fight. Wow. You see a person in a hoodie and Timberland boots and think that means we're ready to fight. Timberland boots and combat boots are 2 different things, bro. Okay.
I don't know. Y'all be wearing them when y'all fight in New York. That's combat. What you?
No. So, I mean, Gilbert Arenas is, for one, just a nutcase. You know, you hear all these stories about him in these situations. I heard him talk about this. I wouldn't have opened the door. If I'm being honest, I mean, what you gonna do, right? I mean, you want to be in a small hotel room with this 6'11", 270 guy, Gilbert 6'3", nah. So I mean, no. Cool down, 24-hour rule. I'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy. At practice, where there's people and cameras. Talk to you then.
All right, so Reese, how about yourself there? How you gonna act? Brandon Haywood coming in, he want that smoke.
Listen, knowing Gilbert Arenas, he had that 9 on. I'm opening the door. And he can step in if he wants to.
So you telling me you got that 9 on, you ready? You ready to fire if Brandon Haywood come in? Cool. All right, man. So we got what?
You ain't gotta fire it. You let him. Listen, well, how the gun laws? Let him into your residence, long as he don't turn his business. Yeah.
Your hotel room, your place of residence. You receive mail there and everything, man.
Okay. All right. Bad. So that's funny as hell. Okay. All right. So we got one more. I just want your honest opinion about this. What would you do? And I guess maybe what would you choose might be the conversation, but I slid it into this one. Player comparisons. We got Zebo and Eddie Winslow. We got Jimmy Butler and Michael Jordan. We got Brady Manick and Larry Bird. And again, Zach Randolph, Eddie Winslow from Family Matters. That's the player. Who looks more like one another?
What?
Again, let me go down the list.
What?
Who looks more like the other? Yeah, who looks more like the other? Zebo and Eddie Winslow, Michael Jordan and Jimmy Butler, because they do favor surprisingly, or Brady Manick and Larry Bird.
All right, I don't even know who Brady Manick is.
Buddy off UNC last year, the white boy on the squad who was getting. Okay, that's crazy.
Oh, he is.
Grady Manick looks nothing like Larry Bird. I'm just gonna go ahead and start there. He's just white. I said it.
I don't know who this guy is.
He's
I don't know if that's about him. Maybe more about me, but I don't know who Grady Manick is.
He's white, and then
how about this one? How about the Jimmy Butler and Michael Jordan comparison? Is there any
Michael Jordan looks like, I think Biz Magniamo, he looks like college Michael Jordan. I think Anthony Edwards looked like Michael Jordan. I don't think any part of Jimmy Butler pause looks like Michael Jordan.
That's crazy. All right, bet. So how that? Wow. Okay. I
guess Eddie Winslow.
Yeah. So we want to see what Eddie Winslow
look like.
That's crazy. All right, bet. So let me do this then. How about this one? Me to Sean Livingston, Freddie to Tim Hardaway Jr., or Reese to Jay Crowder.
I thought you were going to say Jay Crowder. And you know what? You could have said RG3 and you would have had me. You would have had me if you said RG3. But I'm going to go ahead and X myself out of that one.
I'm going to X myself.
I'm for Sean Livingston.
I look like Sean Livingston. We don't know that.
You got Sean Livingston.
Okay. All right, I guess. That wasn't hit as well as I thought it was going to. I'm really surprised you don't know who Grady Manick is. I'm actually, as a Duke fan, I'm sick that I have to try to talk up this UNC alum, but I guess to each his own.
I'm surprised that he hasn't done enough to make himself a household name. I don't know.
Well, he only played there 1 year, but that buddy, listen, that man. I mean, he graduated. He graduated. I don't know. I don't know. But hey, he had a hell of a postseason on March Madness last year. That's all I know. But that was a beautiful tournament last year. Speaking of tournaments, we had the play-in tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Some made it, some didn't. What was y'all overall thoughts of the play-in tournament? When I say that, let me kind of be more specific. What was the biggest surprise for you guys with the play-in tournament? Reese, let's start with you.
DeMar DeRozan's daughter holding an NBA team to 50% from the free throw line. That was disgraceful. So yeah, put that out there. I heard the screams though. I can understand why. You know what I mean? It was bad for them, but hearing Scotty Barnes talk about it, he basically, when he ended it, he was like, I mean, it had to do something because we shot poorly, but I'm like, buddy, dang, I just feel like everybody should adopt that. Every away team should just pack a screaming young lady under the basket and just.
It was crazy too, because I read that she was getting death threats or something like that. That's wild. So yeah, no, that would be the most surprising, I guess. But yeah, I didn't foresee that by any means necessarily. Freddie, what about yourself? We off to a good start right now. What about yourself?
So mine was the Atlanta Hawks completely dismantling the Miami Heat. I just joked with y'all. Well, I wasn't joking actually. In the text, I just told y'all that I think Playoff Jimmy is a top 5 player in the NBA. Playoff Jimmy is an elite player. When it's that time, he usually just dominates games. And he dominated the Hawks last year in the playoffs. The way the Hawks took them apart with Jimmy Butler on the court and not looking to be that guy that is going to go out there and just do what he does, that was super surprising, especially with just coming off the big retirement party of, so to speak, of what's my guy's name? U-Dog, right? All that heartwarming stuff in the season. I thought they were going to come in, get this taken care of, rest up, and go into the playoffs with all of this energy, and that just didn't happen. On the other hand, you had the Hawks who were struggling to win games, and the Heat had their number all year, and they just got taken apart. So that was super surprising. I didn't see that coming, and yeah, now we're here. We missed out on another Celtics versus Heat matchup.
Okay. I gotta say, my biggest surprise, fellas, is the fact that the Pelicans couldn't pull it off. I wanted them to get over the hump. I understand why. You know, Zion did not play, and I'm not trying to bash Buddy. He sounded like he was able to play, but at the same time, I I can't knock him too much because you do want to think about your future as a player, right? Like I kind of think both sides. So I was just surprised that they couldn't get it done. Like the teams that did sneak in there, we got in there. Warriors got in there. The Kings, not the Kings, the Timberwolves. Like I understand it. I was just thinking the Pels had a little bit more to offer than like those teams. I thought they could get in there. So that was my biggest surprise.
I'm about to say I really do think though that the CJ McCollum injury and the Jose Alvarado injury had a lot more to do with them not being able to pull it off. Because I think they have been winning games without Zion all season. I really don't think Zion and they won last year without Zion. I really don't think Zion, because then Herb Jones gave you amazing
emergence.
You know what I mean? I think CJ just couldn't like push through, and I'm pretty sure it's frustrating as a guy who like is kind of on the tail end of your career, working through injuries, and then seeing a guy that is like young, spry, and ready to go right next to you, and him just sitting. Like, so I'm sure like once you start missing shots and you know that you hurt, and you like he probably in the back of your head like, man, forget this. Like
exactly. And I'm also thinking too, they have a shorter window than most. Like this doesn't.
Yeah.
This could be a dynasty, but when you factor in Zion's injury history, hell, even Bi's injury history, it gets a little shorter. So now I'm thinking you got CJ older as well. How long is this team really going to last at this level? So it's tough.
They got with Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. They got what's buddy? Tall, light skinned buddy.
Dyson Daniels.
Yeah.
No.
Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes. You know what I mean? I think they have a young enough nucleus. And I mean, I've been saying this since I thought they should have traded Zion for KD last year. Once he signed that contract and those 60 days was up, I think they should have went ahead and made that move, because it's just kind of like, what are we really doing?
Very.
Yeah, KD and BI would have been. Because I mean, really look at what Brandon Ingram was doing as the sole focus of the offense. I mean, Buddy was still giving you 30, 10, and 5 in the games that mattered most. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a monster, man.
Yeah, so it's like me personally, we've made a lot of money off of Zion already, even though he's only played 30 games a season. You know what I mean? On average, not literally, but on average. You know what I mean? At this point, it's kind of like you can cut your losses, I think. Just trade him for a big name, but I don't think there's a big enough name. I think Kevin Durant was the only name that I would trade one for one, you know what I mean, kind of thing for. Like now, they would have to go get like a couple guys.
I would trade.
They have the assets to do that though. Like you have Herb Jones, you have Trey Murphy. Like you want to, but I mean, you don't have to go on everybody, but someone's gonna have to go if you're trying to build up in the day. So they're in a good situation if they're trying to win right now, personally. But I do get y'all on the it's just tough. It's just tough. But let me ask you guys this, because OKC did beat them.
Yeah.
Like OKC did beat them, right? So what's your thoughts on OKC next year? They had a lot of success. I didn't think they were going to get to this level right now. But now when you get Chet coming back, you're probably going to get a top lottery pick this year. Is it going to be a disappointment if they don't get to the playoffs next year? Like it seems like OKC has a little hope.
So what are we qualifying as the playoffs? Are we saying the play-in? Because you said that you didn't get to
this time you got to get to like whatever you got to get to 7, 8 seed.
I'm about to say, because when you say you were surprised for them to get to that level, I mean, 10th seed to me is not like, I don't know, 10th seed to me just isn't. It's like, to me, even with the play in the 10th seed, you are still the 10th seed. Like you were that close to being at the bottom.
You could have also been that close to being the 8th seed too, though.
Because of the play-in. Because of the play-in. And because of
I'm saying
what games in the West, right?
Yeah, like so like what if you're an 8th seed and there's a 10th seed and the game behind is like 1 off? Like you're pretty close. So you're like 0.5 games off. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I feel like I was talking to a buddy of mine, he was saying like there's no parity in the East compared to the West. But like in reality, I feel like the West was just hurt all season. And the East just wasn't. Like I hear you for the like 10 and 8 seed, but like if it's like because of injuries, and things like that. Like, but don't get me wrong though. OKC beat some teams. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking away the wins they got against top tier teams. You know what I mean? But I'm saying in terms of like how close the like records and stuff were. Like, for example, if A Wig plays those 20, 25 games, like I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean? The Warriors are a lot higher, right? Okay, then I look at the Suns. I mean, they ended up a 5 seed. But the Clippers,
that's why it's so tough to fully respect any seeding in the West this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
so that's like
it's
teams that have
you have to respect it, but you have to
respect the best records and have looked the best have been the teams that have been consistently healthiest.
Yeah, I think you have.
That's all it's been.
I think you have to respect seeding because we say all the time the best ability is availability. So if we're going to continue to say that, then I can't sit over here and knock a team just because they.
So Trey, I'm saying from this standpoint, just from a playoff standpoint, right? Because we've seen some teams that were regular season, teams that were great, right? But we like this team isn't a title contending team, even with their record, because we truthfully know once it comes to playoff time in a 7-game series, we're taking these 2 players over here versus these 2 players. You know, and it's just one of those things. Like even with Miami, now that we're in playoff mode, everybody was calling Miami team trash all year. But now it's like, okay, they're dangerous now because it's playoff time, right? The Lakers, same thing. They're healthy finally, but now it's playoff time, and AD and Bron together, we don't bet against. Steph, Clay, and Dre, they're like 16-1 or something in their last like 17 playoffs. It's some crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
no, I get that. It's just,
that's all I'm saying.
I get that. I just think if we're saying ability, like the best ability is availability, I can't knock a team. I can't knock their seeding. Like, I got to respect where they were because they did that for an entire season. Like, okay, they were available. They were healthy for whatever reason. So now if there's an injury history on a team, just because you got the better talent, you could get injured during that series. And now it's like, that's tough. So that's the reason why I say
provided that everybody's healthy, though. That's all I'm going on. Because you're right.
Yeah. I get.
But I'm saying now that everyone appears to be healthy, now what? Are you going to take this team just because their record's better, or are you going to take this team because of
Okay. All right. So for example, and I'm glad we're actually doing this because we get to talk about 1, my team, and 2, transition. So the first round, right? We had the first round. So we had a lot of injuries that happened, and the way I'm looking at it is, I see the Grizzlies as a team that my Lakers can beat. I see the Lakers as a team that could get injured during any round in the series, just like every team. But I feel like Anthony Davis, every time a man jumps, it's an injury problem. Like that could legitimately happen. I don't see that with Jaren Jackson Jr. I haven't gotten that history so like I'm not scared.
But you see it with John,
right?
He's the best player on that team. Because he plays so above the rim, he's literally putting his career at risk every time he jumps.
Right.
Especially guys are not giving up baskets at the rim. You know what I mean? So when you go up there, you're expecting to get hit. You know what I mean? Like it's not a lot of guys who not jumping, especially in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Regular season, like I'm gonna let a buddy fly past me. But in the playoffs, where every possession matters, you know what I mean? Like it's like I mean you saw it last night. I mean John went for 45, but it's like if you hit those 6 threes. You know what I mean? And really started making, but like people really step up and guard him. You can. I'm gonna let you jump in Anthony Davis all night. I'm gonna let you jump in Jared Vanderbilt all night. Cause and Roy Hachimura, I'm good with you jumping up there with them. Cause they gonna hit you.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I favor us with this against the Grizzlies, but they're also a team that can beat us because of our own injury history.
I know.
They already. Look, you have John Morant who was injured. Yes, cool. We also have an older LeBron James who was just injured not too long ago. We have Anthony Davis, who we've already talked about. So again, when I'm thinking about their stars versus our stars are more fragile, it seems like. Especially at this place in the game.
The only thing that we're talking wins and losses, of course we could always equate injuries into it with any team, right? I'm saying based on who's on the court right now. That's all I'm going off of. Because I'm not going to wish anybody or put that into the air for somebody to get hurt, So I'm just saying, based off who's playing right now, what players are available today. That's all I'm saying. Now, if somebody get hurt, I'm right with you. Let's change that, that conversation up. But as of right now, with your Lakers healthy, I feel like the Grizzlies can't do anything with them. Soon as you go down,
I agree. When we're healthy, we should be fine. But again, every time, every game, every up and down,
my thing. The Grizzlies came into the series not healthy though. That's my thing. They're down 3 players. They're down both of their rotational.
A lot of our talent is centered around the two guys who have been injured this year. So like that's the reason why. If it was just one, I wouldn't worry as much. That's the only thing. Like we should be able to get down.
I would be more worried about them getting hurt if Steven Adams and Brandon Clark were there to show real resistance at the rim. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. had 3 fouls in the first quarter last night off of petty stuff. Like, he just don't. Like, I hear you about JJ, but like, he really, like, he's probably, like, I sent it in the text thread. Like, he may be the first decoy to average 5 fouls a game. Like, that's I need somebody to really find that.
All-star player who averages 27 minutes per game is an all-star player. Think about that. He averaged 27 minutes per game, bro. Like, that is disgusting. But still, like,
just stay on the
defense is crazy. But look, so what's the biggest surprise of this first round, right? From you guys thus far? No, every what?
I said health, just like every playoff run. Somebody's always every, like when we said it in the chat.
So is it a surprise if it happens every season? Should it be a surprise for you if it happens every season?
It's not a surprise. Oh, you think it was the biggest surprise?
Yeah, biggest surprise. What's the biggest surprise? Freddie,
my answer, I got you, is the Clippers series for a couple of reasons. One, why Leonard just abruptly okay, I'm done. Like, that literally caught me off guard. Like,
because he was a knee injury, right? And then
he has arthritic knees and all that. But it's like, man, you look in that game 2 or 3, I forget. I want to say it was game 2. Yeah, he looked amazing. It's like, dude, you was blowing by people, finishing dunks in traffic. You had to lift on your shots. You were hitting. You know what I'm saying? Mid-range, you got to get lift to hit a mid-range jump shot, right?
Kawhi now is the reason why I say the Pelicans got to get rid of Zion. It's just like,
okay. So, Ray, what's the other one?
That series is that the Clippers actually have been in every game, and they could easily be up 3-1 as well if they're down 1-3. So
I don't know about easily. I know why you say it, but like I look at it like, you know, that's still KD and D-Book. Like, they don't.
But I say they've had double-digit leads, and they've been up late in those games. And that's all I'm saying. So
they just
ain't
hold
on to that with one of.
That's the reason why I'm like I'm not worried about. But yeah, I get you though. Like it could have happened Like, it's similar to last year, or maybe it's a little bit different between the Celtics and Nets. Like, that could have very easily been 3-1. It could have been 2-2.
Completely different though, because of health. It's because of health. That's what I'm saying. It's completely different. I think Freddie's point is guys like Kawhi sat out, and like PG's not playing. That series, everybody on the court in game 1. That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. I miss Ben Simmons playing, but we'll move on. Reese, what was
Ben Simmons playing the last 2 years, my dog? You've missed Ben Simmons playing. The last time he choked away.
That played a factor into that series. That played a factor.
The series last time he was in the playoffs.
They would have been very much more easily guarded if Ben Simmons was on the court.
Oh man, we're down like 2.
Well, look, Reese, what was your biggest surprise of the first round so far?
I won't call it a surprise, but I'm genuinely happy that the Nuggets are up 3-0. Like, don't get me wrong, though, the Timberwolves are hurt, another team that is hurt. No Jaden McDaniels, which is huge in my opinion, especially when you talk about somebody with length to actually stay in front of Jamal Murray. Like, Ant-Man is trying his hardest, but at the end of the day, he still has to give you 25 and under and something like that, right? And so it's like, I'm like I said, I'm happy that the Nuggets are beating this team could get beat in the first round by low seed allegations. Now, I think next round against the Suns, it will be, like, in my opinion, like, I got the Nuggets in that series right now. Just based on how the Suns are playing against the Clippers, like, I do think, like, defensively, they're going to have, and don't get me wrong, I get that Devin Booker's leading the playoffs and stocks and all of that stuff, which is cool. But I'm saying, like, defensively, I think that the Nuggets coach, like, I think Ty Lue, like I guess it's going back to what Freddie said, like, I think based on how Ty Lue is coaching, especially, like, the Clippers could easily easier, like, if things had been falling in their favor in terms of health, it could have been a real series. So I think the Nuggets, like, I think that series is going to go 6-7. So
I agree with you. I did like the fact there was I saw a quote from Jokic where he said, "I didn't want to give the Timberwolves any life," and I'm like, I appreciate that. That's a mindset. That's a solid mentality to have in the playoffs. That honestly everyone should have, but not everyone does. And so that gave me a little bit more hope. Personally, I put $10 on the Nuggets to win the championship over the summer, just because a friend told me the Nuggets and the Hawks was gonna go to the finals, and I'm like, that sounds wild as hell. I won't put any money on the Hawks, but I'll do something on the Nuggets just cause. And so I might keep them there for a little bit longer. I could cash out right now for about $17. I might let it ride for a little longer. I might
Listen, Trey, their defense that they've been playing, and this is something that I've been super surprised by in that series. Other than the Mike Conley's unraveling last game, their defense, the Denver Nuggets defense, has been phenomenal, bro. I watched them yesterday or whenever they played, either yesterday or 2 days ago, and their attention on to little details on defense, bro, and just their whole scheme overall has been like brilliant, bro. Yeah, it's great. So I got to give them credit for that because I was watching.
Do you feel like their defensive scheme could hurt someone like the Suns? When I look at the Suns, man, like how do you guard them? You got you have man-to-man defense. You got zone. Like they can attack any of those situations. So
all you can do versus the Suns, bro. And Ty Lue, I give him credit. He's been brilliant in switching it up every time, keeping the Suns off guard, so that they aren't getting the same looks, right? Not when that's all you can do because you got D-Book, you got KD, and then you got Chris Paul, who's just he's a computer, has all this in his database. You just got to play them man to man, maybe switch everything and just hope that they miss occasionally, right? But no matter what you do for them, you can't stop them. What Denver's doing, they will lose by 20 trying to do against Phoenix.
Yeah. I was about to say, I think Rudy, Rudy and, what's buddy's name? I can't think of the other guy named on the Timberwolves team. But, No, not Cat. I'm talking about in terms of like not being able to stretch the floor. Because I think that's really what I was kind of saying about in the Nets versus Boston series last year. Like the ability to give guys who are elite scorers space is your biggest advantage. You know what I mean? And so it's like I think like Freddie said, the defense in that series has been great. But the fact that DeAndre Ayton, I love that, and I wish I could put money on Ayton every night because they got his point line at like 15 points, bro. And I'm like, bro, 8 field goals made for a guy who is 7'1", you know what I mean? Playing next to
you got KD and D-Book who have been scoring a lot. So I mean, I can't.
No, hear me out. I'm talking about in terms of every time that Ayton has been put into a pick and roll with D-Book, CP3, and KD, he has been open. That is my point. They are going their scores naturally talking about KD and D-Book, you know what I mean? But they easily could drop the ball off to Ayton for a floater or a mid-range shot. I'm saying like the opportunities are there for him, and I think they're gonna have to bring somebody like Jokic out of the paint and really use Ayton. You know what I mean, and not just use him as a placebo. Like they really need to focus on getting him in a rhythm in this Clippers series because he's going to be very important against Jokic.
Yeah, to your point though, last game. He's knocking those mid-range shots down.
Yeah, but
early on,
if he's able to showcase that mid-range, that unlocks them tremendously.
Yeah. Like Craig's been balling out, bro. He's having like 16, 17 a game. Like so,
I hate that we leave professional basketball players wide open. Torrey Craig has never been because Torrey Craig has never been a sub 30% shooter from three. You know what I mean? It's not like the scouting report says leave Torrey Craig wide open. They literally have a defensive spot guarding. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's literally his job is to catch and shoot and play defense. And they have Zubac guarding him from the paint. It doesn't that's the only thing that the Clippers are doing defensively that I have not agreed with personally. But I get it though. It's like, what do you do? Like y'all said, when you got KD, D-Book, and CP3, what really can you do? Somebody I guess has to be open. But in my opinion, you're literally daring a professional basketball player to just make it wide open. I mean, you're in the arena by yourself at that point. Like nobody within 10 feet of you. Like, come on.
But it's gonna remind. I think it's gonna remind people a lot about the Warriors offensively because again, everybody can score. Like even Ayton, if he can ever get that 3 ball to hit like he was pegged to have coming out of Arizona, he can showcase that a little bit. This team offensively would be scary.
I have no desire to put Ayton at the 3-point line.
If he's out there, and can keep the team honest. I'm not talking about all game. A couple of times, that's not a problem to me. Like, you still got KD who's 7 foot out there. D-Book can get a rebound. So I have the personnel to get that.
No, he was taking a few of them last year.
Well, I'd like to see that evolution for him, like that. Like, just being able to get his own shot, and now like give me some of Marcus Aldridge. Like, if you can do that with his talents, like, yo, I like the Suns team. Are they?
You know, you end up with a Julius Randle type player that shoots.
That's what I'm saying. I like
playoffs in the game.
Hey, look, Freddie, I don't understand why you're down right now. Well, I mean, I understand why the Knicks are down right now. I don't understand why you're down right now. Like, you should already know they're going to tie this series up. It's going 7, brother. It's going 7. Like, look, stop hurting yourself. Stop killing yourself. I see you looking back up the screen, up and down every time I've seen 2 tears come down your eye, Freddie. Like, let it go. Just let it go. You lost game 4. Okay, you lost game 4. I don't know what to tell you. But
nah, man, it's a 1-point game. We just need Julius to stop jacking up threes, man.
I hear you. I did that because I wanted to make a transition. Do y'all feel like the Cavs and the Knicks is the most interesting series in the first round?
No. Clippers.
No. Clippers Suns.
Yeah, I think Clippers Suns has been the most, because Russell Westbrook deserves his respect, man.
Get at that,
man. Straight up, bro.
Listen,
straight up, bro. Like Freddie said, if Kawhi
it's a nice redemption tour. It's a nice redemption tour, but like it's not
a redemption tour, bro. Y'all just didn't use it, man. No, it's not redemption. This is from the fans' perspective. Russell Westbrook has been garbage. So now that he's hooping, it's going to be viewed as a redemption tour. But people are going to put a spin on it. Oh, he just can't play with stars. He has to play with a team by himself. Trey.
That's what someone's going to say.
This is beautiful, yeah. So he's not made to be a number 3 guy. He's a point guard, a guy who's had the ball in his hand for the majority of games. Now you got 2 people controlling the ball ahead of him. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense logically, right? So check this out.
You say when you say he can't be a number 3 option on a championship team, like what's the main reason why you say that? Because I kind of
maximize who is your point guard, who's a superstar point guard, who's had a high usage rate his whole career. Now you want him to come in and be a spot up shooter, which Frank Vogel did, or you want him to come in and kind of pick and
we did that more
where he's already not. He doesn't play off of efficiency. Every player is not an efficiency player.
I think we did that more so because of Braun. But
what's that?
I think we did that more so because of Braun and the fit. Because if I have Russell Westbrook as my point guard, I might get more scoring-minded play, like more. You know what I'm saying? Like he can help their games out, like and get them the ball easier.
Trey, y'all are trying to let D'Lo. I watched y'all let D'Lo was a game 2. D'Lo control the game, and it killed y'all because he's not a guy that can do that consistently in a winning fashion.
He's a basketball player.
Yeah, y'all can let D'Lo be our catch and shoot guy. What I'm saying is for the Clippers, Paul George can be a number 2 or 3 option because he has that mentality anyways. He already admitted that. Let him catch and shoot. Let Russ and Kawhi be the 1 and 2 guys, and let PG catch and shoot because he's great at it. That'll open up that team so much. And imagine a guy closing out on Paul George, and now he's attacking you while you're closing out, and you're at his mercy, right? Like, I think the Clippers have found out how they can let Russ get the ball and he's gonna take fabrication. Yeah, he's not gonna.
I don't know how we got back to the Clippers, fellas.
It's flowers. That's what.
So because you asked about what they get for the series, and I said you said.
Well, again, when I said most surprising series, when I said most interesting, most interesting, like that this. It's not as interesting as this Knicks Cavs one. Like when I'm looking at when I look at the competition, I see a Suns roster who is contenders, and I see Clippers who aren't anymore. Like it's not interesting to me. Like we already knew, especially with PG out in the first game. Hey, it's probably going to go to the Suns. The first game made it a little more interesting. But end of the day, I feel like it went the way we all kind of expected. This Knicks Cavs, it looks like it's going. It looks like it's going 7, fellas.
So
7 over 5.
Real quick to that point, the Suns Clippers series has been back and forth. if you're watching those games. It's great, very good. It's good basketball. At the end, there's some suspense. The Knicks Cavs have been all blowouts, bro.
Blowouts, bro. That's like, what I'm saying. And they're not even scoring 100 points. They're not even scoring 100.
It's in that point as well, right?
How is that entertaining?
This has been crazy, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Even though it's one of those series. It's like, okay, what are we right now? 3-1 right now. They're at.
I think that like entertaining part is, you know that the Suns should win based on like who's on the court, right? But it's the fact that the games are not blowouts. And that up until the last like 5 minutes of each game, you don't know who's gonna win until you realize, oh yeah, like the Kawhi's not on the court. Like,
yeah, but again, ultimately, I know we gotta move on. I feel bad that Russ gets this rap because whenever he balls out and hoops, people say, "Oh, well, he can't do it on a winning team, or he can't do it." He's playing against KD, D-Book, and Chris Paul, or he can't do it with other stars. Well, most stars can't be a number 3 option if you're a superstar anyway. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't usually work out, especially if you're not a shooter. So I'm happy he's just filling some of the, not all of the narrative. There's always going to be a narrative for him, but I'm happy he's balling out and he's going to get a paycheck next year.
That's tough. I feel like any star can adapt and become a third option if they want to. You got to remove your ego a little bit. I don't think you necessarily want to go from the guy to like the third option because, you know, you've been the guy for so long. But like Kobe didn't want to necessarily play after so long. He could still play, but he wanted to play at a certain level. So I think you actually can. I think you can. I'm saying you can be a third option. You just have to remove.
That's a tough time.
I'm saying you have to remove your ego.
I get where ego comes into play. The evidence is that he's not saying
skill set because Russ isn't a great catch and shoot player. Like
thank you, Reese.
You can still be. You can't tell me this man can't be a third option.
He's not a shooter. Your third option.
What I'm saying, I'm trying to give a good example though, right? Kevin Love was a first option superstar player who became a third option, but that's because he could legitimately catch and shoot and stretch the floor, playing off of a player like Bron, you know what I mean, and Kyrie. Whereas I think Freddie, his last point before you said what you said about the ego thing was Russ' inability to be a great volume catch and shoot player makes it harder to be a third option. I don't disagree with that. It does make it harder because, I mean, as a third option, you're getting a lot of catch and shoot. You know what I mean? You're asked to stretch the floor. That's usually what third option.
And your attempts are down.
I feel like y'all are not adding accountability to this situation. Everyone can always learn how to shoot. Like you cannot tell me you cannot. Okay, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. But everybody can learn how to shoot. I saw Jason Kidd go from someone who can't to someone who can now knock that 3-point down. And they have a similar style game. Like you cannot tell me over the course of his career that Russell Westbrook could not adapt to the game and start shooting a little bit better. Because guess what?
So can I say this?
He showed small size. Oh, you said what?
He's been shooting very fine in this role now that he's.
And that's what I was about to say. He's been shooting decently in this small sample size. So you cannot tell me that Buddy cannot be a third option in the league. Like, I don't believe that personally. If y'all feel that way, cool.
But he hasn't been a third option on the Clippers, right?
I'm saying he can be. The statement when you made earlier was he can't be to win. He cannot be a third option on a contending team. I disagree. That was my point. That was all. I was curious about that statement. That was all.
He's 14 years in the league.
I can see how it could be.
Buddy, I'm saying he can adapt. He should be able to adapt. You keep saying like he hasn't.
At year 14, you're telling the guy who's played one way, who literally just came from an environment where he was playing that way as well. It's not like, you know, he's had a long transition period.
Is Russell Westbrook being the 1 or 2 option going to give me a championship? Let me help you out. No. So now
you're 15.
Now you have to adapt, and if you can't adapt, you have to get out the league. It's that simple. Look at Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony was very serviceable. All right, fine, but you see how people treated Melo though.
Well, bro,
like
15 years in the league, that's why.
You cannot adapt.
16 years in the league, you're not going to be a number 1 or 2 option in the championship team.
So you have to adapt then, right? That's what I've been preaching this entire time.
Well, what I'm saying is this, bro. All right, so hopefully I can make this. So if you've never been played off of efficiency or anything, right, for your whole entire career, 14, 15 years in the league, you've played this way, you've been a 1 or 2 guy. Like, mind you, I don't think Russ is going to win a ring. So I just want to put that out there, okay? I think if Kawhi and PG were both healthy, that in order for them to win a ring, PG would have needed to be number 3. Okay. Now, when you have something like that, yes, you can win a ring. You have depth, you have elite coaching, you have 3 guys that are super talented and can give you 30, right? And maybe even 4 with power. That's a situation, sure. But are you saying, if you're asking me if I think Russ can come in and be a number 3 option right now as a catch and shoot guy when he's never been a catch and shoot guy for 14 years of his career, for you to expect for him to just come in and turn into that right away? That's not going to happen that late into your career, bro. It's just never happened. Give me an example of an NBA superstar who has done that 14, 15 years into their career. Carmelo even struggled with it. But Carmelo was at least a very good shooter. So he eventually kind of, okay. But at that point, he was a 5th, 6th, 7th option on the team.
Literally, but
Jason Kidd,
Jason Kidd 2 years in, learned how to shoot.
I'm about to say, Jason Kidd started out his career as a 38% three-point shooter, though.
But yeah, he got better immediately.
All I know is you can adapt, such as someone like Julius Randle on your Knicks. Like, he was not known as a shooter on Kentucky. Now the brother shoots relatively decent. He's respectable from the 3-point line. And it helps out with his game, so he could actually become a 3rd option on a championship team if need be.
So.
Like,
yeah. But that's different too, because he's already been a shooter since he came to the league. Like Kentucky, I get what you're saying, but since he was not a
shooter on the Lakers, and he was up there for a while.
Since New Orleans, Jupac has been shooting, bro, and he's gotten better and better. Like I don't think he's
worked on it.
Yeah, bro.
So he's worked on it.
About a guy 15, 16 years into his career versus a guy who's learned how to shoot early on. I think it's 2 different conversations.
That's crazy. And you're acting like we just started shooting threes this season. Like, we've been shooting threes for a while now, but I guess accountability doesn't mean nothing then. So onto a new topic then, folks. Who do you guys have more? Who you guys worry more about, the Bucks or the Celtics in getting out of the first round?
Bucks.
Really?
Yeah.
No love for the Hawks.
Giannis isn't playing, bro. We're healthy. I mean, Jaylen Brown got a cut in his hand, but like we're healthy. We should not lose to the Hawks. The Bucks.
So if y'all get tied, if the series is tied 2-2, what's your trepidation level looking like then? Are you worried? Celtics in 6. Okay.
They go 2, Celtics in 7. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it's at some point, like, I don't know, I just really hate it that, like, Boston is, like, I feel like the only, like, high-seeded team next to the Nuggets, which is why I sent y'all that article a while back about who's most likely to, you know what I mean, shit the bed in the playoffs, Nuggets or the Celtics, and it's just, like, I feel like the C's, I mean, like, we've literally been to the Eastern Conference Finals or better, like, for the past, like, 7 years, bro, and it's just, like, still, every season, it's like, oh, the guys are young. Oh, like, you know what I mean? They ain't got Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? They ain't this. But it's like, damn, like, at the end of the day, we talk about winning. Just like we talk about winning. We were the best team in the East up until a 17-game win streak for the Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, best team in the league. And still, we have the 2nd best record in the league. It's like, we should not.
Y'all won a crazy win streak in the year, too, though.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Bucks, however, they lost Giannis to a back injury, which is serious. Like, that back injuries, it ruined, like, in careers. Seriously.
So do the Heat end up beating? Well, I guess that's going to transition. That's next time. We'll save that there. So, Reese, let me ask you this, right? Let me paint this picture. The Hawks win. Okay, Hawks win first round. Get y'all out of there. I'll even give you 7. What do you do with your team? Do you start to, like, as a fan, right? As a fan, do you start to now believe maybe you should trade Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum? Like, is that popping in your head now?
We have another first-year head coach in the playoffs. It's just like, can we lose to the Hawks? Yes, but it's like, damn, can we get consistency at the top of our organization? We just have not had that. You know what I mean? Like, we went from Brad Stevens, who couldn't coach stars, well-known throughout the entire league. He could not handle star egos and star presence, especially when it comes to role players who feel like they could outplay stars. We get Ime. He has a consensual relationship. Somehow, Jason Richardson can have a baby with Steve Nash's wife, and that is to cover it up. But the Celtics can't cover up Ime Udoka having a consensual relationship and keep that man job. Now he about to go to Toronto. Let's talk about him going to Toronto. He go to Toronto, it's over for the East. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
See, all he needs is
one star. He got wings. He got wings. All he needs is to make one of them boys is gonna be a go-to player. And
they trade Fred VanVleet, bro. They're gonna be right where they need to be.
Yeah, I did think about it.
To the Hawks, I'm gonna be sad, but it's like Joe Mazzulla has had many red flags as a head coach all season. Now I feel like
he'd be on the hot seat. He'd be on the hot seat next year.
Who?
Joe Mazzulla. Like, should he be on the hot seat?
When you make an an assistant coach, an interim head coach, and then give him the extension for no reason, I personally don't think we should have given him the extension. I personally feel like you make him coach through the playoffs and make him prove that he can literally lead this team somewhere farther or as far as Ime did. Then you give him an extension. But I feel like we jumped the gun personally.
Okay. Freddie, what's your thoughts on Joe Mazzulla? Because I wanted to give him the heartfelt, fan bias perspective. But then, is your answer any different from Reese's, or is he spot on?
Was my answer heartfelt and biased? I feel like I was pretty
Well, it's naturally going to be again when we talk about Cam Reddish, Freddie, shut up. And when we talk about Cam Reddish, mine is naturally just going to be biased.
No, but I feel like I guess I didn't end it correctly. What I'm saying is we extended him, but I'd fire him. I'd go get a guy. I would have never given. That's why I said I would have never given him the.
But so hear me out though, right? Because the brother did lead y'all to a 2 seed, and in his first year, interim head coach, got promoted, cool, got you an extension. You even talked about him in the off season when y'all first got him, oh, Danny Ainge really rocked with this man, and they ain't want to let Buddy go. So now, is it unfair to put him on the hot seat, Freddie? Because Reese is saying fire him. I understand why. You just have to.
I'm being dramatic. I understand you have to give a coach an off season. He didn't get a true off season without distractions. So I understand what he was giving. That's what I'm saying though. And that, to go back to your first question about the Celtics losing to the Hawks. It's we were just dealt a shitty hand from John. And we played great with it, but it's tough.
Shitty hand is kind of crazy. That was a quiet hand that y'all had dealt. I ain't gonna hold you, Freddie. How long would you want to keep Joe Mazzulla around?
I think he's not giving Joe Mazzulla enough credit. Y'all have a better record than I had last year, a better seeding, right? Than y'all had last year.
No,
y'all were what?
No, we were both the
exact same
seeding and everything.
So exact same seeding.
Record 2 wins and loss.
I think we have maybe +3 wins, bro.
Yeah, so you have more wins. So more wins, right?
Off of the momentum of last year, though. Just put it out there.
But no. You got something you're overlooking, right? Off of the drama from last year, y'all had a huge cloud over y'all coming into this year. So that, right? Now he has the pressure of y'all getting to the finals last year. He has to come in and grab the ear and the heart of the city, of the organization, of the players, and make them play for him. Y'all came out the gate snapping. Now,
how much time that is though? How much time do you give someone like that? Because I'm thinking.
That's exactly what I'm getting to. Is he's not giving him credit for when things have gone wrong. He's found ways to adjust. We didn't talk about Derek White right now the way we talked about him last year, the way we talk about him now. He's made that adjustment. No. 6th man of the year about
White and slander has got to be hot, Reed.
Bro, what I'm saying is Derek White.
Robert Williams was on the bench.
Hear me out. Derek White joined us trade deadline. He did not get an off season with the Celtics. He had a training camp.
Joe Mazzulla didn't get an off season with y'all.
But I'm talking about in terms.
Let him talk.
I'm talking about in terms of player development, though.
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
Freddie, let him talk.
But Freddie was answering. I'll cut him off.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, this Derek White experiment, bro, it's like you said, Derek White has been a good player since San Antonio. I'm not saying that. That's why y'all went out and got him. That's why y'all investing, right? So I'm not saying, but he's found out, okay, Derek White in this starting lineup, because y'all started the year off with Derek White and Brogdon both on the bench. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, but that's okay. So I'm gonna say this real quick.
Yeah.
It actually took the Boston media pressuring Mazzulla to the last 15 games to actually end. Like Derek White was not closing games, bro. Like he was actually not.
Smart got hurt at one point too, right?
Hey, fellas, I'm gonna just throw this in here real quick. Boston Celtics last year had 51 wins. This year they got 57. Carry on.
So 6 games.
So everything that's happened so far, because you were talking, we're on a historic offensive pace, and y'all were, have been actually this year. Y'all still are like in the top 10 all time.
Pretty sure though, like we told.
I mean, we were the only team to share top 3. And
I think the most important thing he did, Reese, is put Rob Williams on the bench. I'm gonna be honest.
I think Rob put Rob on the bench.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's physical.
I don't know what
they ain't been healthy for real.
Like he may would have
tried.
That's
what I'm saying. Like I think a lot of the decisions that Joe Mazzulla made were like
pressure.
It was like damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it was like obvious to most people. Like for example, Derek White closing games. He did not start doing that until the last 15 games of the season. When all season we struggled and crushed it.
But he did it.
Why does it have to? It wouldn't have taken somebody who was there from the beginning. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm being unfair to Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah,
because I'm really upset with Boston. I'm really upset with Boston and how we handled the whole situation.
And I think
what it is.
Yeah. So one thing I'll come to defense on Reese is that in game, when you talk in game, there's times where I've looked, I was like, why didn't he make this adjustment? Why out of a timeout are y'all not able to get a good possession out of a timeout? Why, defensive lapses out of things like that, late in game, certain stretches, it's just like, okay, he needs to kind of call timeout, get these guys, back locked in, whatever it may be. He's had those first-year coaches situations for sure. But, I mean, you think about somebody like a David Blatt, who first year, right? Ultimate success, of course, you got a LeBron on your team, but you can see it. I feel like we got to at least give him until next year to see what comes of it. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, what he's done is amazing. And unless you just want to go back out there and get Nick Nurse or something like that.
I wanted Dwayne Casey when the news broke. That's who I wanted. I wanted Dwayne Casey. As long as Joe Mazzulla's too young. I don't think he's too young, but I think the entire league. I mean, even the Cavs coach is like 34, 35. Like I think the whole league is going towards this whole like young coach thing. The NFL is doing the same thing. It's like let's get some young guys to like lead these teams. Just like at the end of the day, like you ain't seen enough hoops, man. When you go up against
blame it on Sean McVay. They thought Buddy was gonna be a prodigy. Not everybody want to be in the headline.
You see what I'm saying?
You also got old ass folk out too now. Like some people be standing at the ball.
But I think Dwayne Casey was done like Melo. I think Dwayne Casey was done like Melo. That shit was unfair, bro. That shit was unfair. You just called them.
Hey. But for real, maybe Dwayne Casey was treated decently because them boys might end up getting Victor Wembanyama. So all I'm saying is, like, he might have gotten
they don't get Victor, you don't get Scoop because you got Cade and Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
So then, you know what I mean? So then it's like after the first, like,
why can't I get
face for it?
Why can't I get Scoop? Why can't I get Scoop?
Cade and Jaden Ivey, bro.
I'm a draft Jaden and I'm gonna have Killian Hayes and I'm a scoot to the
twins. They gotta get one of the twins from overtime.
Nah, a champ. Because I think Scoop can
twins over there.
I think Scoop can play the two guard spot. He's a stocky guard, and he's 6'4", right?
Yeah, no, he could play. I think Scoop can definitely play the two.
Him and Jaden Ivey can run that combo guard, and you also got Cade there as well, who's the guard too. So I think it can work out.
Can I raise my hand on that, bro? You can't have 2'6" young guards. You need 2'6" veteran guards that know. Like I just watched Jalen Brunson lock up Evan Mobley in a post, and I'm not even joking. He fronted him, stayed in his legs, and then he spun around backside. He couldn't back him down and had to shoot a little awkward fadeaway. Those young guys ain't got that in them yet. I don't want 2 young 6'2" backcourt guards, though, personally.
Not unless I'm trying to go back into the lottery.
Yeah, but I think you need Jaden Ivey to be able to continue to great he is, bro.
If I got the bigs we got, I can get them 3 boys playing well.
Big
the Pistons.
As
the Pistons. Yeah, Wiseman.
Yeah, ain't no threat, and
that's crazy. They're not in the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs.
Right.
They're not in the playoffs, but they could be in a couple seasons. We'll see how it takes. The Bucks, though, fellas, the Bucks. Is there any worry? Because Freddie, I know you've been high on them. You know, that's your team. Are you worried about them getting past the second round? I guess because this one, it could actually the first round.
First round. Yeah, I'm worried. So
how worried? Like, do you think now? Cause I know I think we said the Bucks would win. Did you change a little bit?
Yeah, I'm super worried because one, like you said, Giannis' injury is a contusion on his tailbone. Two, because playoff Jimmy there's only about 2 or 3 players I would choose over him in the playoff. And then, 3, for all this credit I gave Milwaukee's team for being, to me, the most complete team in the league. They're catching that one. I mean, the one game they won, they shot lights out from downtown. That was
they broke the record for 3.
Yeah, so I mean, Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler, that combination against, Mike Budenholzer becomes that elite coach when he has Giannis. I don't think Milwaukee can beat him if they don't have Giannis, to be honest.
Okay.
Giannis,
I always say that too. It's funny how the name Giannis and Honest rhyme so well. Sounds so similar. I think, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. What's the series right now? 2-1 favoring the Heat.
Next game in Miami as well.
Out of respect for Drew, I want to say 6, but it feels like 5. Not even gonna lie. Like it feels like 5. Out of respect for Drew, I really want to be there with you, buddy. Like, I'm impressed by Bam. Like I know there were times where I'm. Hold on, hear me out. Hear me out. So when I watch Buddy, right, I was always worried about him come playoff time. Is he gonna show the energy? The shot, I always know he's not gonna really. I don't think he's ever gonna be that 25 point per game scorer. Like, I got that out of my head now. But the rebounding aspect, the defensive presence, the switching, like he's showing me a quality glue guy. And when I look at someone like him, I'm thinking, damn, what if he was on the Warriors? Like, that would be kind of nice. Like, I pretty much just from again, offensively, he has not been the best. It's been sufficient enough. And I think he's also undersized. So you got Kevin Love, but Kevin Love's not really like 6'10", right? And you're going up against Brook Lopez, you're going up against Bobby Portis and them, Giannis at one point. So, it is a tough little battle to go up against, and you're the main primary defensive anchor. So I will say, from that standpoint, I've been impressed with Bam enough, plus with Jimmy. Not to mention, too, the way that Tyler Hero's out and they're playing well, that's very surprising, too. Shout out to Duncan Robinson. Do you guys then expect the Heat, and I guess with this, we can transition on to the second round, because this is just going to be the predictions, all right? I just want y'all takes on the predictions, man. Who's getting out of the first round for each one? So we got Celtics. So we got Bucks, Heat, and we said Heat. I said Heat. You said Heat, Freddie.
Yeah.
Reese, are you going Heat also?
Yeah.
Cool. Is anyone changing their answer from the Celtics?
No. Knicks cooking.
Don't hand the trade you want to, bro. 35%. Remember, just say it, bro. Die on that sword, bro. That's on you. And I said 10% chance for the Hawks. I said 10% chance for the Hawks, 35% chance for the Heat. I trusted him. And I texted the chat. I said, now that Miami they weren't brave enough to come to the Garden. You see what I'm saying? Excuse me, Freddie. I know how the Knicks get about people saying the Garden. They won't.
All right, man. 9-3 right now. I'm happy.
They won't brave enough to come to TV. I said, so are we giving the Hawks a 35%? And you said yes. And I can pull up the text messages and we can put it on the camera because you said yes. So don't give me that 10% bull crap now. 35% Trace. No,
it's up there. 90.
Go watch the last episode. I promise you, I said 35 for the Heat and then 10% for the Hawks. I do kind of want to get a little saucy and and say Hawks. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Say it.
I do.
The media.
Hey, I'm gonna say Hawks. I'm gonna go Hawks.
As a member of the
media, I'm gonna go Hawks. So clearly we know. Who Freddie's gonna pick for the 4th and 5th matchup. But the 3rd matchup is between 76ers and Nets. I know the 76ers won. Did anyone expect them to get one game at least, or did you expect a sweep? Did you expect a sweep?
I gave Sixers one game because I thought they were going to shut Harden down. I didn't expect Max to continue snapping like he has been.
Hey, I told you.
He snapped this year. He is like on that same joint. So, yeah.
I told you, hey, that brother is nice. So then when we got, who is it? I forgot the Knickerbockers against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You really got to enunciate. Yeah, you really got to enunciate when you say that.
Knicks.
Who y'all got? Freddie, we know you going Cavs. So Reese.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going Knicks too. But I will say though, I know y'all are talking in the chat about Maxi's ability to play well next to Joel Embiid, and like Freddie, I think you kind of misspoke just now about Maxey ain't really had that good of a game without Joel out there. That's all I'm gonna say. We can keep going.
Wow, yeah,
he didn't. Buddy,
his serious numbers.
Yeah, no. But think about it, Freddie. We're talking about 3 games with Joel. I'm talking about his 1 game without.
Well,
when the Nets were able to put real length on Tyrese Maxey, just keep him in front.
Reese, listen. When you got Joel Embiid out there, it maximizes who Maxey is. His last name ain't even Maxey. They named him Maxey because Joel maximizes him. When he's not out there, his name is just Tyrese. When Embiid isn't out there, I'm just gonna tell you.
So we keep going though. I feel like we rolled over that. But like, I wasn't that impressed by Tyrese Maxey last night.
Okay. Make Maxey better, Reese. That's the word around town.
Wow. Okay.
I put money on his 30 ball and he let me down. I ain't saying I put money on his 20 ball and he let me down. All I'm saying is
he had 1 assist yesterday.
1 assist.
That screwed me over.
Okay. Look, so we got the East covered. And as y'all can see, we got some haters on the team, on the screen. Now we got for the Western squad. We got the West 2nd round.
Favorite team, the Nuggets.
I'm a Lakers fan, champ. I'm a Lakers fan, champ. Anyways, Nuggets versus the Wolves. Can the Wolves get a game? I'm just gonna ask that. I think it's safe to say now. There might have been a little trepidation at the beginning.
No Nas Reed, McDaniels.
So it's over.
McDaniels. It's a very similar situation to the Grizzlies.
I'm calling a 40 burger tonight from Ant-Man.
He gave one the other night.
But he gave you 1 game too.
But the most important players for the Nuggets,
Freddie set that up, man. I knew what he was doing. I knew what he was doing when he said 40. I knew what he was doing. He think he said it.
I mean, Ant could drop 40 tonight. I think he's gonna drop 40 in the win.
I don't think Jokic is actually gonna go for 40 though. So he don't have. When you say most important player.
Freddie said he never does.
I mean, he never does.
No, he's
crazy. Hey, let's go to the next. Oh my God! Look, Grizzlies versus Lakers. Grizzlies versus Lakers.
Lakers in
5.
Lakers in 5.
It should be 4, but I bet on them.
Should have been 4.
Forget it. I guess
should have been 4.
Yeah, it should have been 4 though.
I'm gonna say Lakers in 6. I feel like John and them got one more in them, but we'll see how it shakes out. We got who else is left? Kings versus Warriors. And I ain't gonna lie, this series might be a little tough.
Is it?
I mean, it could. You got Warriors in 6.
I got the
2 games. That's tough.
I got the Kings. I got the Warriors in 7 because I do not think
they would have to win in Sacramento.
I know they're. I think that is going to be the only road game they win.
That's fire, but yeah, I don't think.
Oh yeah, because they won there. Yeah, I think that's the only road game they win.
Because here's the goals, right? Sacramento has played brilliant in the first 2 games and only won by 5 points, I believe, both games, right? Last game, they got their boots smoked. And
because of that weird shit they did with the Sabonis and Draymond thing.
Sure, yeah, right. So that's what
that was few. And now I think the Kings actually gonna come back. Fellas, I can't lie to you. I could very easily see a 3-1 after this game 4.
I 25 from Clay, 30 from Steph tonight, and hopefully Jordan Poole remembers how to play basketball again.
But that's the thing that you said
being better without Draymond. We talk about the Warriors being better without Draymond.
No, because it's
not conversation.
Well, Freddie, I'll say this. Offensively, if we're talking about scoring the ball, there's an argument that yes, the Warriors can be better without Draymond. But the thing is, Draymond's not an offensive player. He's a defensive player. So, like, what you're losing from Draymond on that is, like, you got to have him on the team. But for one game, you can look like you're better without Draymond. But I'll give you that.
No, but I mean, Trey, absolutely, you're right. Trey. But Reese, also to Trey's point, they had 2 away games, then they had a home game. They've been historically the worst road team this year anyway, and one of the best home teams. So naturally, you're going to see night and day anyways. So I think it was more about them being home more so than them not having Drake.
Oh no, I think it was their ability to stretch the floor out, man. The Kings were able to kind of pack the paint a lot more with Draymond out there naturally, as everybody does against the Warriors, so it caused them to actually.
But they can play small ball though, right? They're small ball lineup. I mean, you can still stretch because Draymond will shoot threes. Looney won't shoot threes. Draymond still shoot.
I mean, how many offensive boards did he gobble up?
I also think too, a big thing is going to be Andrew Wiggins' play. Like, that's the X factor, like we all stated last episode. That's going to be the biggest thing. So if Andrew Wiggins is playing real well, I'm not really worried about too much. I can throw Draymond at the 5, and he's strong enough to battle with Sabonis. Now, if you want to talk about height disparity, I hear he's not strong enough to battle Sabonis at the 5, Reese.
He's not strong enough to keep Sabonis off of the offensive boards as Looney did. Because Looney actually not only pushed. So for the closing moments,
though, I got Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Steph Curry. If I'm looking for offense, that's what you're going to go with. I'm going rebounding. Obviously, you're going to take Looney out there, or you're going to slide Looney in there. And I'm saying, hopefully, Curry would be smart and take out Jordan Poole. Personally. That's me.
Take time to give Kevin Huerter some crazy respect right now on how he locked up on Klay Thompson in series. Yo.
Well, you could say it's sure affecting his legs on the offensive side. I'll say that. Yo. But he's shooting like 2 for 30 from the 3-point line.
The way they're defending this handoff, like, it's kind of a mirror match almost with how, and it's Mike Brown who came from that. So he knows that offense inside out, right? He knows their strength and weakness.
Very similar to Ime going from the Nets to the Celtics. So when you were in the building,
it matters.
Literally last season.
Ultimately, bro, Steph is too great, and it just comes down to
I do think that.
Get the bed. Time to take this series over, and I think that's going to be more so what happens going forward. Klay and Steph, and I think Wiggins the more games he get on his belt, just the more. And he hasn't even been playing trash. He's been playing good, actually.
It seems like the Warriors and the Suns are kind of shaking off rust, if that makes sense. Like Andrew Wiggins taking off rust. The Suns, they're trying to gel properly. Because it really just feels that way, bro. And I that's why I say it's tough. I want to say Warriors in 7 just because of Steph, what you saw him do last year. He's still that guy. Their road record does hurt me though, and the Kings are good enough to win. That's why I say I could see 3-1. If I got to bet anything, I'm gonna say Warriors in 7. But like, there's something in me that says Kings in 6 too. I don't know why. It's scary as hell.
To be honest with y'all,
it sounds weird. It sounds so weird.
I said it last year. The Warriors go as far as Andrew Wiggins takes.
Yeah.
As far as Andrew Wiggins takes them.
Steph is gonna Steph. Klay is gonna win you a game. But if Andrew Wiggins does not give you what he gives you on both sides of the ball, because that's what I was trying to tell everybody last year, bro. It's like people really undermine. Andrew Wiggins has never averaged like less than 17 in his career, bro. Like, because it's not flashy, step back, twing, you know what I mean? Euro in the lane, dunking on people. Like, when somebody
it's a regular 9 to 5.
I also think it never translated to winning, like how Zach LaVine's formed. team.
I mean, they were on the Warriors. Let's put that context.
The expectation for him was so high when he came into the league that he was going to turn that.
The expectations hurt him. The expectations.
Because he's been hooping like y'all said.
Yeah, blame Braun. Even when he won't winning out there in the Timberwolves, he was still getting his numbers though. You can't argue that. You cannot argue that.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing, organization took off.
So what I'm hearing is if the Warriors get to the championship and they win, Andrew Wiggins might get
to get the Finals MVP.
If he deserves
it, he will deserve it, bro. He will deserve
last season, right?
No, he did not deserve it last year. Clay.
No, I'm asking. So if Steph had already won a Finals MVP, would Andrew Wiggins have gotten it last year? Because he did lock up Jason Tatum.
And talking about defensive player of the year. We're talking about Finals MVP.
The league don't like the Warriors, but they like them at the same time. Wiggins would have got it, and they would have had to name the Finals MVP award the Andre Iguodala Award. Because at that point, it's all about can you hold the man on the other side to 30, 10, and 10 on 50%. But nah, Jason Tatum was doing that, so I can't talk that. But Andrew Wiggins really did lock up Jason Tatum, though. That's a fact.
What happened when you don't like to use both hands?
I said locked up because. Because I didn't think he did it per se. It's more like, he just had a bad series. But I guess. And then the final one. Is anyone pulling for the Clippers? Like, Freddie, that's more so for you because Russ is your guy.
Say that one more time, bro.
Are you pulling for the Clippers comeback?
Oh,
you making a comeback?
Man, well, so here we go. Let me say this. I'm pulling for Russ to have a successful series. The silver lining in Kawhi and Paul George being out is that Russ can lose the series and the media won't. Maybe the media still will, but it's like, oh, Russ kept him within every game. He balled out. But not beat this team, truthfully, as a basketball fan, I would love to see KD and I don't care about Booker, but KD and Chris Paul get to a finals and possibly win the finals. That's one of the scenarios I wouldn't mind happening this year. But I'm on record with how the series is playing out because Russ is balling out and the games are competitive. I know they can't win the series.
Okay. Reeves, what did you say about D-Book and the light skin hate?
Record and saying it again, and I don't like Devin Booker. But I looked at his shot chart. Y'all. And I really do think I understand why it's like Devin Booker. Because he's scoring the way I want Jason Tatum to score.
The elevation of that mid-range?
I think it's some envy. I really do think it's some envy mixed in there. Like I don't like him because he's a front runner, in my opinion. You know what I mean? He went from winning 10 games to being with Chris Paul and felt like that his shit.
Who was on his team?
Reese. The beginning of the year, I was telling y'all that Booker is for sure the best shooting guard in the league. I was telling both of y'all that.
Well, Kurt, before you go any further, you told Reese that because you and I were saying he's the best shooting guard. Remember,
best shooting guard though. He's still not the best shooting guard though.
Who is?
Jaylen Brown is.
Oh, okay.
He just has a messed up hand.
Hey,
you know what? No,
I'm going to church after.
No, watch this. I'm gonna call my Arizona Connect. I'm gonna make sure that Devin Booker out there watering his plants, and I'm gonna send a bee to go at him, and we gonna right at their hand, and we gonna, it's cool, and we gonna make sure when the pots break and he cut his hand open. We gonna see how he looking after that. We gonna see if he dropping 40 burgers after that. Right? Don't worry, I got the Connect. I know folk out in Arizona. I'm good in that desert.
Hey, look, Freddie, he got a whole plan for it, and it's called Call Him a Bee.
Yep.
That's wow. Okay. All right. So D-Book, be careful out there in Minnesota.
Be careful.
Get your gloves ready. Get your gloves ready.
Be out there, D-Book. Be careful.
He gonna be like this. He gonna swing. He gonna hit his plant. Cut his hand open. I got it all.
Look,
be like this. He gonna be like that. I got you.
Trying to be getting you out. Word buzzing around town as they out for you, D-Book.
I need Celtics versus Suns in the final. But I'll be honest with you. I don't even. You know what? I don't even want to see it. To be honest with you.
I'm gonna switch it like this.
How much offensive power they got, though.
I feel like that.
I'm gonna say
the 80s or something like that. Celtics or something.
My boy tries to do this whole Gematria stuff, and he said put money on Celtics versus Suns. So hopefully, like, I would love to see that matchup because I need my boy KD to get some get back. Like, we need that get back, and then I need D-Book to show y'all what time it is, my boy. And CP3, please get yourself a ring.
It's crazy though. It's crazy though because I just know in that matchup, Jaylen Brown is gonna take that Devin Booker matchup, and it's just what we're gonna love about hoops. Like, you know what I mean? Star players wanting to guard. It's gonna be JB versus Devin Booker and Tatum versus KD, bro, and it is going to be what the league has been begging to see. Superstar players guarding superstar players on both ends of the court, bro. And the Suns won't be able to avoid it. The Celtics have
they can run zone. They can run zone. They can run zone like they.
Right, I forgot. What's that?
Imagine Suns Clippers right now fully healthy.
Who?
George versus Book, Russ versus CP3, and Kawhi versus KD. That is all we could hope for, and it just
that's what we wanted. That's what you want, bro. That's what you want, bro. And they took it from us.
We never get those type Kobe versus Brown.
Never get it.
We never get those series. It's just like they need to happen.
They do.
In the final.
I'm in full agreement. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pushing. That's the only reason I'm pushing for a Suns Celtics. Not only because I want to see my team there, but it's the only it'll be literally like your man versus my man. That's
it's gonna be the closest thing
in football, bro. Position versus position, head to head. Dominique versus Bird, Game 7, one of the greatest Game 7.
It's gonna be the closest thing we had to what I was telling you, Reese. I wanted to see Nets versus Clippers. This could be the closest thing to it for me.
I'm about to say I thought it was gonna be the closest thing since Thunder versus Miami.
Yeah,
great. That's crazy. I forgot you did mention that Nets versus Clippers back then.
Yeah, I feel like Thunder versus Miami was the last time that we saw like straight up guard on guard, wing on wing finals. In the finals, I mean.
Yeah.
No, that was a good time. Those were good times. But fellas, I mean that concludes. I mean, we already covered all the teams that we feel like is going to win. We'll see what happens. You know, we'll revisit those playoffs. But before we go, I think we said, just to recap: Celtics, Bucks, Knicks. I said Cavs, but you know, down 3-1. Right now, that might be a little tough. Right now. So Knicks and 76ers, right? Who's getting out of that bracket?
So how would it be? Knicks versus?
Oh no, it's Knicks. It's Knicks versus the Heat. By the way, because the Milwaukee's not. You said Bucks just now.
Thank
you. I'm sorry. Thank you for checking that.
It's gonna be Knicks versus Celtics finals. It's going to be Knicks versus Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think I looked it up, Freddie. What did I tell you? Wasn't it like 76 or something like that? The last time the Knicks and the Celtics played each other in the finals? We need it again.
Yeah.
That's how I know.
Last time the Knicks played each other in the playoffs, you know what happened, right? 2013.
Yeah, I know y'all beat us. Yeah, I remember that.
Y'all got, okay, so them four advancing.
We had direct coaching.
And Knicks and Celtics advancing after that.
We had Jarepko starting against that Knicks team, man.
Yo,
people think it's all bad. Sunflower daisies as a Celtics fan, man. People don't know.
Good old days when we could actually play.
Damn, Jarepko. That's crazy. All right, so if I got to go anybody, you said Knicks and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Unless y'all think the Sixers.
I like the Heat.
I think.
Listen, I was telling my boy Jordan that the Sixers could beat the Celtics.
Yeah.
But with Joel Embiid's knee, they said it's swelling behind his knee. That's probably it.
Yeah.
That's probably. Yeah, that's. I was telling y'all, I like the 76ers this year. I like what they were doing. Kobe was looking good. I love Maxey. Yeah. But like an Embiid injury, like literally, I made a video saying Embiid's knees are what the 76ers need or something like that to thrive. Like it's so serious. So the fact that he's injured it's kind of.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point, though, I don't even mean this to sound as heartless as it does, but it's really hard for me to feel so bad for him when he refuses to stay off the ground. Like, at least Anthony Davis, when he gets hurt, it seems like it's always like freak accidents. When Joel Embiid, like, he literally is plopping on the ground like every possession. Like, I've just never seen somebody that big who refuses to just stay on 2 feet. Like, I cannot feel that bad for him. Like, seriously though, Trey, like, I'm be honest with you, he fell on the ground. Who was it? He fell on the ground when Royce O'Neal bumped him coming up on the half court. He just threw himself on the ground. It was Royce O'Neal displacing.
Wow. It happens. It happens.
No, I know flopping happens, but when you're diving into the ground.
Not say this. When you got a 7'2", 3, what is he, 340 maybe? Or maybe not 270. Man, I don't know. What do you think he is? 300?
300 pounds.
All right, so 300. Guy who moves as gracefully as he does. I feel like it's tough to start. You know what I'm saying? As like a big running back, right? You're constantly stopping, going, making all these moves that your body not used to. Zion can't stay healthy for this reason, right?
280.
Maybe it's some of that too when you're getting bumped in your lower extremities while you're making all these quick moves, these off.
It's just the like, you know, obvious ones where it's like you chose to get on the ground. Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I'm not talking about
that game.
You're talking about flopping plays, right? You're talking about flopping plays. You're talking about him flopping.
The ones where he flops, it sounds like diving to the ground.
Diving, I can hear you on. Flopping, that's part of the game. Like, I think you can fall gracefully. Honestly, I think one thing he should do is look up jiu-jitsu because they actually teach you how to fall properly. You can learn how. Yes, you can learn how to fall properly. Like there's I took jiu-jitsu like a little bit because my family did it when I was in college. So I wasn't really committed to it, but while they was down there, cool, fine, I'll swing through for a couple times. And I learned that you can actually like tuck your chin, roll, like hit the floor, and you'll actually brace your fall a lot better because now if you're tucking your chin when you're making impact, your head's not going to snap back like that. Like, so it's like there's certain ways to prevent yourself from falling and hurting yourself. That's why they were trying to teach Zion how to jump again and land properly. So I think you can do certain things.
It's just like quarterback sliding and they tell me they should go to baseball training camps. I get you. What I'm saying though is stay off the ground, bro. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying you're saying so he needs to learn jiu-jitsu for when he does fall, right? But if we're learning jiu-jitsu to increase his acting talent, like I'm not for that, bro. I'm not for
fellas, not to cut you out. Draymond ain't starting today.
Well, as he shouldn't. I guess. I don't know. I just said it.
That's a wild statement to come off the cuff with, bro. What?
I mean, Jordan
in the rims like that. You lucky you even on the team, Draymond. You trash. Nah, I'm playing. I feel like
first of all,
I hate the fact no one talks about like how Domantas Sabonis was grappling his ankle, and if Draymond really falls awkwardly, he could have like.
Right. We cut the recording, right? Fuck that. He dumped he dumped the ball after getting his ribs stomped in. Bro, if your ribs,
you seen what happened what you call it yesterday when he got hit in the ribs?
It was real.
Ryan Garcia.
It was real.
Oh, yeah, that was buddy got.
And he got punched. He didn't get stomped.
Yo, that boy Tank said he was looking at him to get up there. He shook his head no. That's real, bro. That's what it looks like when your ribs is really hurting, bro.
Yeah. Hey, but I'll say this: Draymond's animated stomp was not needed though. Like if he didn't stomp like that, he would have been fine. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I only have 2 things to say, Trey, and then tomorrow.
I was about to say we about to close up.
I say one, Knicks are up 3-1, and there's another playoff game where teams didn't score 100 points. So I just want to put it out there. 3-1 though, bing bong, and then 2, just wanted to get this facts on wax. Jamal Murray is the most important player for the Denver Nuggets' success when it comes in terms of winning the championship this year. The most important player on that team in terms of winning the championship.
All I know is don't KD wish he had went to the Knicks. KD wish he had went to the Knicks.
We don't want him. We got Jalen. We got JB, the real JB.
All I'm saying is Jamal Murray cannot be a more valuable player or cannot be more important than the MVP candidate. He can be the most important complementary player to Jokic. But to me, when I hear you say this, Freddie, it's who's the person to get me over the hump? And I feel like we're just kind of glossing over the rest of the journey. Like, Jamal Murray's not gonna get me to a championship. Like, when I think, like, again, success to a championship,
neither will Joker by itself either. So I don't want you to think I'm saying if one is on the court, the other is not. That's not what I'm saying. One, Joker is the better players. That's not what I'm saying. Two, I'm talking if they're both on the court. I think Denver can still go along and win games if Joker's has a subpar game and Murray has a very good to great game, right? Perfect example, he carried them home versus when Ant was going off. It was Murray, literally ISO, scoring the toughest buckets from the perimeter. You need that type of player in the playoff games, right? Can you go and get me back-to-back buckets, right? Make shots from the outside, make shots from the middle, right? Break down the defense. Like, with Joker, and usually for big men, it's tough to be that type of person anyways, obviously. But
hold on. Let me do this. Let me close the show up, and then we can have this.
Yeah, close it up. I think you'll agree with me.
I don't want to keep y'all waiting too long. Y'all, if y'all want to hear the combo afterwards, please stay tuned. But hope y'all enjoyed it. And please take care. Drive safely. Have a good one.
Take care.
I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here.